Hey KMS Rundown listeners, you can find every episode on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube. Prime members can listen ad-free on Amazon Music.
Gentlemen, how we doing? Oh, this is great. What a wonderful day. The biggest interview we've ever had, finally. Mut, welcome to the network,
sad.
man.
That
Welcome.
is sad. That is sad. I already regret this.
Ziggy, we want to give you the first question here if you want to go for it, man.
Yeah, I understand. I guess I have bad Wi-Fi. You can't see me moving and shaking, but that's all right. Sorry for that. Mut, we appreciate you being here. Mut Stack Eve, we know it's a big night for you. I don't know if you saw
Big night.
Belichick just signed with the Jets, so we'll get you out here in a little bit. I'm just kidding.
You know what? I already wrote about the Atlanta stuff, so the Jet stuff can be next Friday.
There you go. Perfect. Okay? Perfect. There's the low-hanging fruit joke that everyone goes for. And I promise I'll make one of those jokes. Is this the lowest moment of your career?
I mean, you've heard Mut and Callahan, so no.
There you go.
It's definitely not. This is an absolute treat. Considered now, it said something about the network. The people are already calling this after 3 episodes the best show on the network. That is a low bar, boys. That is a low bar. Right?
And I have to say thank you for signing the exclusive network deal to be a KMS rundown contributor. Cannot go on to any other shows as part of the deal. So thank you for that.
Well, actually, it gets me out of doing Steve's podcast.
There you go. No, we love Steve here. We love Steve.
Mut, we wanted to get right into everything that went into that Wednesday show and talk to you a little bit. And then if you want to talk about the rest of the week, that's great. When it comes to a marathon show like that, how often or how many flicks of the nose or how much are you looking at Steve during that show?
On that show, it wasn't much. A couple, I saw the flick that everyone's talking about. I swear on my life, I saw live, and I thought someone's gonna catch that. It wasn't you guys. It wasn't a little touch. He dug in there, like he really got in and sort of went like this at one point during that interview. I did look at him more during when Jamie and Rob were on because he could tell how nervous he was. He had these two. He brought 2 sheets of notes. He brought notes for the show and the interview, and he actually brought notes. I don't care if I say it. He brought notes for me and said, "Here are the questions I'll ask you to come on my podcast." So he's like that prepared. That was at the end of the thing. But he was super nervous. Actually, cool to see because he's a super fan of Sopranos. But that show, it was so much on the screen with Dave, and then the interview, and then Kirk. I didn't get quite as much of Steve, but he was nervous during the Sopranos thing. There's no doubt.
It was funny. Like I was picturing Robert Eiler and Jamie Lynn Sigler doing these interviews with like people with they get hair and makeup and they're all gussed up. There's one shot of them and then Steve, like a close up of Steve with the frumpy sound acoustic treatments in the background and the wrinkly curtains in the background. I was like, this is just KMS, perfect KMS picture right there. Yes.
Perfect KMS right now is your internet sucking. Your internet.
Hey, it's a podcast first. It's a podcast first, as long as you can hear me.
If you track the start times, if you track the start times of KMS, usually it's like around 9:38 is usually when he starts. But every time, I love a Mut day anyway, but every time Mut you're in, it's always going to start early. Do you think does Kirk start the show on time just to make you late? Do you gotten that impression?
Yeah, well, I called him on the way in and just said, "Hey, with the roads, I'm going to be there at 9:35." And of course, he said, "Oh, don't worry, I'm still 10 minutes away. We'll probably start late anyway."
Yeah,
but I expected it. But I walked into it was 2 minutes into his rant.
Right.
I didn't know the Justin thing at all, so I walk in and he is mother effing everybody, and I had no idea what was going on because it was.
Yeah.
As you heard at the beginning of the show, it was real. I'm never going to Chicago. Terrence instead of like it was all the hits, and I walked into Justin first, and Justin with a panic look was like, get in there, and he was freaked out too. And I'm looking back on it now, he probably realized at that point I might have given my boss wrong information about was this a joke or not that Titus had, and I just stood there. I stood outside that rant until the end, so 4 or 5 minutes. I was sitting there watching him do it, and finally sat down. But I think even that rant didn't happen. He wants to start the show before I get there so he can bust my balls for being late. That is a lock. If I can be a minute late, he will make that happen on his own show.
No, I started listening a little bit late because I was busy at work, and then all of a sudden I'm like, I don't hear Mut. Like, where is Mut at? And then Kirk, in the middle of a rant's like, well, Mut, what do you think? And I'm like, Mut's there? Like, because it was just him and Steve at the beginning, and the two producers, and I'm like, is Mut not in today? And then all of a sudden, randomly, he's just like, Mut, what do you think? And I'm like, oh, Mut is there. So he definitely got in before you, just to rub it in your face.
Oh yeah, and I didn't want to step in front of the camera because I knew he was going off. Didn't know about what, and walking in front, I just didn't want to ruin it. So I waited until he sort of wound down, then sat down, and eventually got to it. But honestly, like, if you listen back to that show, I barely said anything. I mean, he did not. He doesn't need a second or third chair anyway. He really didn't on that show.
Oh, he probably talked. He probably talked to the guests more than you guys because he had.
Oh, and he should have. Like, what was
Dave, Jeff,
like,
Jeff.
The trivia thing was huge. Jeff twice, Dave twice, an interview in the middle of it. Like, it was ridiculous. And we, again, it's he jokes about it, but like, we're just there to have fun. It's his show. That was a show, though. Honestly, we didn't have to be there. So I said very little, and I was just glad to see the whole, from the beginning to end, to 3:00 in the afternoon, eventually the Dozens deal getting done. It was a fucking wild show.
I did notice, so 4-hour show, I think it was the first appearance you've had where your Uncle Joe and his big ZD did not get brought up. So just goes to show you how little you were a part of the show.
His hair didn't get brought up.
The ponytail,
big ZD,
yep.
His creepiness.
I think I know more about your uncle than some of my uncles at this point.
My brother being louder than me. Like, some of the hits didn't get played. Some of the hits did not get played.
Yeah, but Steve was in. We did hear about ZD anyway.
Of course.
That still came
Yeah,
up.
are there any peas in that big ziti that your brother's cooking up, or your uncle, or what? No.
No.
Thank you.
It's Uncle Joe's eggplant parmesan. Eventually, I should probably give this recipe to Justin and let him try to do a make good after he destroyed my dead godmother's potatoes. Maybe this will work out better. But it is eggplant parm that Uncle Joe makes. He actually made it for Christmas. I had it at the end of the month. It was great.
Well, hopefully by the end of this, we're going to have friends that we can break bread over some eggplant parm.
I don't think so.
We'll see.
Well, Mutt just said a recipe, so Gus will make it. Oh, that's right.
I did shoehorn that in, but it was so funny at the end of the reign of Gus, which I was a huge fan of. No regrets. Team Gus Bus, day one. But he says on the show, my new thing is, if someone calls him with a recipe, I'll make it that night. And the guy, whatever it was to you guys, someone says beef Wellington, and then that night, nothing. And it sums up Gus to a T. I'm gonna do it. It happens. I don't do it. But I miss the guy. I don't know how you guys feel. I think Justin is perfect in that chair. I'm liking Justin and Coleman, but there are shows where I miss Gus's idiocy.
Do we miss Gus's technical ability? Because apparently he was the only thing keeping that show going as far as sound goes. I know, Ziggy, you could probably chime in on this on technical abilities here, but
we miss someone's technical abilities. I don't know if it's Gus's or Dave's, but another not great week for the T-scores. I said the same thing last week. The Rumble thing definitely has an impact on the YouTube. I'm assuming what you watch on YouTube, following along, and with the days they were streaming to Rumble, it was like skipping 5 seconds, so you'd miss audio because re-listening on the podcast, I'd hear stuff that I definitely did not hear on the initial YouTube live.
The thing that I noticed, I was there Wednesday, so I obviously didn't hear the echo with Dave. Everything sounded perfect in studio when it was happening. Dave looked great on the thing. Jamie Lynn, they look fine. When I listened to, did Lauren Compton call him the day before?
Yeah, I heard you mention that. No one really caught it, but yeah.
That echoed for me on YouTube, and that was going in and out on YouTube. And I'm sure these guys will figure it out. Was the show not on Rumble today at all?
Not live.
Not live. I think after the fact, yeah. Yep.
I'm assuming that's how you watch, Sheldon. You only watch on Rumble, right? That's how that goes.
I don't watch it all. I usually put it on YouTube, and then my phone's dead by the end of the show because I can't watch it. I'm trying to fix combines and tractors.
You're doing real work. I understand. Yeah, that was the hard part with the YouTube skipping all the time. Like, I try to listen on YouTube, so I'm not seeing all of it, and it is like constant. So that's like another reason why I thought I missed you in there, Mutt, because it was like constantly skipping all the way through there. I was like, I don't know when Mutt arrived and when to skip through to that. You know what I mean? So
I didn't notice any skipping today whatsoever.
No.
What I'll end up doing is I'll try to start it live when there's nothing going on, and eventually I'll get to a point where I'm backed up and just say, okay, I'll stop right here and catch up here on the podcast later. Like that's what I end up doing. That it's tough to watch the entire thing through. I should probably just pay for YouTube because then I can shut my screen. So eventually it's like on my screen,
Right.
I'm hitting the buttons and I'm screwing around with it. But I know Kirk doesn't care about the YouTube.
Same.
I'm a fan of having it live at 9:30. Someone who's self-employed at home during the day, I like the YouTube stream at night.
Kirk doesn't care about the YouTube unless Nipples brings it up on Twitter, and then he wants to kill Nipples. Like, shut the fuck up! I gave you a 4-hour show.
Is Nipples a guy? Is he always complain about?
No, not really.
The sound?
No.
Oh, okay.
He's the guy with the protruding nipples.
Yeah, he just says small shirts.
Yeah, you were at the Plymouth show, Mut, so you probably saw him carrying things and helping out all the way through there. I'm sure he's there.
You probably did see him backstage.
The guy I remember mostly from that show is the video guy Shane, that was the guy that was following Kirk and I around doing video. I don't remember seeing. Wait, was he sitting? Yes, he was sitting next to Mike. Right? Is that his Westfield? No, that's Blind Owl.
Oh, that's Blind Owl. That's Blind Owl. So
Mike was back there holding court with Westfield State people. My brother went to Westfield State. He's like, "What's up, Mike? I went to Westfield State too." And Mike's like, "I don't care."
Oh my god!
No, he usually does not complain. But at the Delaware show, it was interesting. He asked a question, and his question was, "When are the people that were sitting front row at Plymouth getting their free Plymouth videos?" It's like, and also, I don't think he actually won the contest, the drawing to get down to Delaware. So it's like he's at a free show. He's complaining about something there. He's complaining on Twitter. So I don't know if he's becoming a show hater. I don't think so. It's just circumstantial bad timing.
It was very bad timing because when I read that tweet this morning, I'm like, "Ooh, this is not good. I hope not good." And then Kirk's like, "I gave you a 4-hour show.
Maybe Alba can talk him down from that. Who knows? I hope she can do her best."
I will say, Kirk tweeted, I want to do a 12-minute show today. And then he started the episode asking Frank about Orlando Cepeda. It's like, there's no way you're getting only 12 minutes.
And which, by the way, I guess I got to bring this up now because I had it in my random notes. Mut, you probably would know this better than I, but did it feel like Montante was just like inserting himself into the Frank the Tank part of it? Like, the extra laughs and he's talking a little bit in here and there. It felt like he was really trying to get himself in there to be able to talk with Frank, with Kirk there. Did anybody else get that impression, or is that just me?
He was. I didn't think he was overly involved, but in some of those spots, like Kirk, you can't not sitting there. I don't know if Kirk was okay with it, but he definitely wanted. It's his show, so like for me, if he ever looks over and says, "Hey, do you want to ask a question?" We'll get involved. I think maybe Montante knew that Mick was going to be in low maintenance mode today and had to sort of step up his game early on in the episode. So maybe that was part of his ramp up to make sure to sort of cover
the M&M boys. Montante is carrying them right now. Mick's very, very, very quiet in the show there.
Well, I feel bad because I'm sure you guys saw it. We're doing this on Thursday, but he tweeted out. I guess he's at the hospital.
Yeah.
It's with his Crohn's. So maybe that was the issue today. But I thought it stood out that he just was not involved whatsoever. I thought he was actually good listening to the Delaware show. I thought that spot was good. He had Jess calling. He was a big part of it. And so I guess I expected the same thing today. And as a listener, live and listening back to the podcast, there were just long stretches where I didn't hear him whatsoever. So maybe now his tweet tonight about him being sick, that could have been the issue. I thought before that, is he realizing I said I was never going to come back and do the show. I'm not getting paid. Now it's my second show this week. But I hope he's okay because I guess he's dealing with something in the hospital.
Yeah, I do. First off, thoughts and prayers to Mick. I think I owe Montante an apology because I've previously said, or I said if the M&M boys were to be given the job, Montante would have been out in 6 months. Montante is clearly the alpha in the relationship. He just dominated Mick. I mean, he asked, so I didn't realize this till today that why I like Montante on the show is he just asks so many questions without thinking about what he's asking. So he could be asking like, did she make a lot of money off the chimps? He could be asking like, how often do you think about your dead parents? It's like, you don't know what you're going to get, but he's always asking something.
Today, during the Alaska conversation, he asked out loud, is there a PGA event in Alaska? And he wasn't joking. And he wasn't kidding about it.
I like Montante's been on the show a million times, and Ziggy just realized, like, I guess I like about the show. He asks a lot of questions. Have you never listened to the show? That's all he does is ask fucking questions that don't make sense. Like, he didn't know, like Mut said, is there a PGA event up in Alaska? And Kirk's like,
You
no.
just said that. Come on, Sheldon.
Like,
Pay attention.
I just
I'm not
said
the
that, dummy.
All right, I read Nug on
Nug,
my
yeah.
correction there, as Montante
Mm.
would say. He also said, I think he said we're on the merge of an absolute collapse.
Hey, listen, the Mason-Dixie line. Everybody's seen it. Okay, don't worry about it.
He could have been he could be a second producer in there every day because he has I think he has the tough skin, the thick skin to deal with Kirk, and also he'll do enough stupid things to make us laugh. He could not do the Coleman role, like the production stuff. He would that would have been an absolute disaster. I know, listening back to the best stuff during the producers or the end of the year, the parts of the best stuff we could listen to. I remember Dave vouching for Montante, saying get the technical stuff, no shot whatsoever. Second chair, third chair, you can't sit in that Coleman, Steve, Dave chair. He couldn't do it.
Yeah, imagine they're like traveling across North Dakota or South Dakota, and you have to set up a live show, and it's relying on Montante to plug in the right.
There's no
words.
way. He can't do it. No. So
Wouldn't happen. Would not happen.
Well, he would admit that. He would admit that he can't do the technical stuff, which is kind of hard as a producer to be like, yeah, I couldn't do the actual producer stuff, but I'll sit here and make you laugh. So yeah, he can
do that. So Mut, are you really missing your high school reunion this weekend because of what they said on the show? I mean, what are the...
No. It turns out I was talking to Coleman today. We had my 25th reunion this past Saturday, and we were traveling. But a guy that I went to high school with, who was on Twitter. I don't know if he's technically in the Metaverse or not, so I'm not going to completely out him. But he, I guess, DM'd Coleman and said, "Hey, by the way, Mut missed his 25th reunion this week." Turns out he didn't go either. But I had this guy I went to high school with, who's a huge Mina fan. Will jump in on Twitter every now and then. So yes, I did miss it. I was not hiding, Mick. So I'm not worried about my job, Montante. We were traveling out of state. It was already planned. I had friends that went. They were texting me from the event. I guess I missed a good time.
There was some venom from Mick regarding you when he said you were being complacent. Like, I don't know. And this, I don't know how much we want to talk about this, Mut, but what frustrates me is I think you have a business plan. You have an understanding of, like, you have a clear understanding of what you're doing. But when guys like Mick say that you're not working, you're complacent, does that stuff bother you? Because I don't know if I'd want to be talked down to by Mick in that situation.
Yeah, he's also dealing with a health issue now, so I'm not as upset. Maybe he was just in a bad mood today. Listen, I don't technically have a full-time job, and so I've allowed this thing to become a running joke on me. I am content with what I'm doing right now. I'm having fun with the writing. I've got sponsors involved. I have some stuff coming up this year that I'm very excited about. The complacent thing, like I don't come in with a notepad and say what I'm doing every day. Proposals I've sent, jobs I applied for and didn't get, tryouts that I did and did not get jobs, which I've done for things, broadcast jobs. It's not something I talk about every day. So I'm a fair target. And until I guess I have a full-time job everyone approves of. Mick, I hope you and your dad approve as former EI listeners. Hope when I do get a full-time job, if I ever do, that I get the Mick's dad seal of approval. But it's until then, I'm self-employed, babe. Not unemployed. Self-employed. A lot of write-offs. You're self-employed. I found out in 2000.
Is there any chance that we can get you on this show? Like, any shot? I don't know if you want to put a percentage on it. I mean, I love that you're coming on the show, but working for the show, working with Kirk, is there any chance that ever happening?
Yeah. Could you ever do that? Could you, if there was an opportunity, could you ever see yourself working for Kirk? Or would that be too weird?
I think at this point, I like the role that I'm in. Like I was thrilled that he asked me to be part of the Plymouth show. Like that was a lot of fun. I hope people were surprised by that. That was fun to be a part of. I like being that part of the show. And maybe Mike found the same thing, that he likes being able to come on and promote. And instead of being an employee of Kirk, it's a different dynamic. And I think Justin fought that for a while, and I'm glad Justin fought through. The way the show is set up right now, there's no role for me anyway, but I prefer this, and I'm sure he would say probably the exact same thing. So I would say never say never, but we have not talked about it once. I would tell you guys if there was a conversation last year or so, I've not asked him for employment. He has not asked me to come work for the show. So I think we're both comfortable with this. Once every couple weeks, come in, talk about the eggplant, make fun of my job, have some laughs, and go home.
So-
I love sitting on that show. I love hanging out with the guys for a couple hours.
That was not a hard no, to be clear, because I don't know if you know, I basically single-handedly willed Justin into the producer role. So just
You did?
yeah, because
It wasn't
I was beating
stupidity?
the drum on the rundown multiple weeks. Said Justin to KMS. So if you want me to get that grassroots movement going, just let me know. Shoot me a DM. There are ways for you to do that.
I will try. Well, I can't technically consider you blocked, Ziggs. I can't do that yet. We'll see how tonight goes.
We'll see.
Never say never on blocking, but Red has asked me privately to not.
I know he
as has Kirk, by the way. So there you go.
So we're 21 minutes into this Mutt. Just how would you rate Sheldon on the show right now? Because I've heard other people say that Sheldon stinks on this show. We're about almost halfway through. How do you think he's doing so far? Okay.
I think he's doing fine. Of the three of you, again, this is why I was nervous coming on the show. Like I know the least about Sheldon. There's a large portion of the show that I'd not listened to, and Sheldon was a big part of that apparently. So I know he's in South Dakota.
No,
I know he works North Dakota. Sorry. And Kirk mentioned on the show he's down on you for some reason.
Okay.
But I think he's been good on the show so far.
Let me give you a little history. Sheldon used to call the show and just was so funny that Kirk, I think, got a little jealous of how good his calls were early on. So it probably is. It's probably rooted in that, a little bit of jealousy, a little too electric, maybe.
So my history is I used to call in every day, and then he tried to get me to not to call in. So he started the show one morning really early when I was driving to work, and he told Steve, "Okay, we're taking calls." And he flipped it, and I was listening. I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I called in, and Kirk's like, "Jesus Christ!" So I just call in with really boring questions for like 3 weeks in a row, and that's how this all started.
That's how it starts, though. That's how it starts. Are you? Is there a connection with you and Trent?
No.
Okay.
I literally never listened to Kirk on EEI or anything with Barstool. I found him by losing his mind at the Super Bowl on Twitter through Barstool, and I listened to every show from the beginning when he went to Barstool. That's how
the one in the Super Bowl in Atlanta when he lost.
Yes. When Goodell assaulted him.
Yeah, that was not fun for some of us.
Yeah. Oh yeah, sorry.
Some of us caught the wrath of Kirk that week. That was an interesting couple of days.
If you had to compare that wrath with like the level that Kirk was going after at Titus in the begining of Wednesday's show, like any comparison, it's got to be more personal with you, obviously. Yeah. Okay. We don't have to.
It was intense, but it was. He still jokes about it, so I guess we're still allowed to joke about it. But it was like he did offer to fight Steve DiBiase. He played in the NFL,
which is so fucking funny. He's like, I would have beat his ass, and it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, he was confident he was going to do it. In that moment, he was definitely confident he was going to do it. So that was a little different than the Titus stuff.
Mut, your advice to Sheldon as someone who also has taken repeated barrages from Kirk. You're a zero. You have no life. Like, what is any advice on how to deal with that?
Well, it sounds like you guys think that's true. So you deal with it. Like, it's just
that's fair.
Well, like
you wake up every day and say, "Hey, that's the hand I've been dealt."
He's like, just randomly, he'll be like, "Sheldon stinks." It's like, why do I stink? They weren't even talking about the rundown. Okay.
They don't boo nobody.
You're on his mind. That's
they don't boo nobody.
That's good.
Mut, another question. I'm just wondering if you can give some advice to Justin. So I see I have ways to see your Mad Props videos. Some have said you yell in those. I'd like to say you just project your voice very well. I think I miss like half the stuff Justin says on the show because I don't know if he's too far from the mic or his settings just need to be turned up. But like, do you have any pre-recording vocal workouts, like How Now Brown Cow? Like, what do you do to really project your voice? What can Justin do to project his voice so we can hear everything he's saying?
Talking to the mic. That's all he has to do. And I can see. I saw in the video today. Even at one point, he sort of his head down and went to respond. And everyone saw my awesome hair right there. he went to respond and he's not talking into the mic. He'll figure that out. Although the first couple days last week, the mic was a disaster
Totally.
with Justin, if I remember correctly. Like,
it was
couldn't-
bad connection. Now it's just he's just not, because you can see Coleman will kind of like, he knows to go up to it when he goes to make a comment. But all right, that's good advice.
I think he'll figure that out. The thing I wonder with Justin is like, so Kirk was content with destroying Gus. Like there was no feeling there. It was just, this guy sucks at his job right now. You don't suck at life, Gus, but you suck at your job. I'm going to, kill him today. Does Justin ever get that wrath? Like, I wonder if Kirk's willing to do that if there's a major, major mess up. Because I think having Justin on the show is huge, but he really likes Justin. I think he after the fact likes Gus, but he really likes Justin. So I was curious. One of the things I want to ask you guys about is, do we think, not that it'll be consistent, but is there a blow up potential with Justin, or does he get kid gloves for the first month?
I know.
Get settled into that job.
Sorry, Red. I'll let you answer, but when you're giving advice to Justin on how to talk into a mic, don't tap your desk at the same time.
Sorry,
yeah.
Justin,
no
don't
way
do this.
There's just no way. No.
Yeah,
I know
blocked.
Ziggy is
Keep
the
him
Justin
blocked.
whisperer, but I will say it feels like Kirk is already kind of leaning into that, right? Like he's kind of questioning Justin every show now, asking him today, like, are you actually listening? Like, keeps needling him a little bit. So he's turning it up. I think he's really testing Justin. And Justin so far feels like he's answering the test, but it's going to get tougher for him. I don't know if he can handle this. Ziggy, I think you would disagree with me, but I don't know if Justin can handle that.
Yeah. Oh, I definitely disagree. I think Justin can handle it. I think he's in a much different place than he's been in the past. I think, to your question, will Kirk I think Kirk will go at him. I think like even Wednesday, Wednesday he went at him a little bit, but then later on he was like, "Take it easy, Justin. Like, it's okay." He could tell he was rattled.
Yeah,
So
I think he
has
how
that.
rattled Justin was. Yeah.
And I don't know if he would have done that for everyone, but I think I don't think he'll hold back, but I think he'll recognize, like, you gotta bring him back in. You can't let it derail the show. And I could see that happening with Justin if Kirk wasn't like, "Hey, it's all right. Take it easy. Take a deep breath. We all mess up."
Well, I think and Portland will be a big one, right? I mean, he's putting so much emphasis on redemption show. Plymouth the disaster. Dave sucks. Terrible screen. Awful night. Like, he's putting so much energy into this.
Yep.
I just tell the way he talks about it on the air that if something goes wrong there, that could be a big test for Justin and Coleman. Like, it's his first big live show. We're not counting the producer show in Maine as like a big live. Oh, are we?
They didn't. No,
it
didn't.
was Dave producing.
And I know
Julia.
Yep.
Yeah. It was interesting. Julie booked the hotels for Delaware. I thought that was an interesting tidbit. I don't know why they really need. I don't know, but
Oh, wait! What? You don't know what?
I don't know. I just don't know. I don't. Who was it that kept questioning? Oh, Danny and Bill Rickett kept wanting to know Julie's role. It's just confusing. That's all I'll say. It's a confusing role.
From what I heard on the show today, there was a hotel right by the subway, and she booked everybody like 30 minutes away. So, like, if Mut would have went to the show, he would have been booked in Rhode Island. So
that feels like just giving someone something to do, just to give them something to do. But,
okay, well then don't
maybe
give
she
her
should
something
just go
to
bake
do.
a cake for you then, Ziggy. I don't know. Maybe that's what you're saying. I don't know. Get in the kitchen. Sounds like
that's what
it. I don't
saying.
know.
He's terrible.
Do you guys? So you guys have a better sense of the entire Minifan community than I do. Do people like Julie?
No, not at all.
Only the
Not at
people
all.
that are in her
Really?
close inner circle, like Montante.
Yeah. I think it's probably about.
I don't even
20.
think Dave likes her. I think the impression that I get is she's put off. At least the people have gotten the impression that she is better than, whatever that means. I think she's tried to work on
And
those
she is
things, and
not.
probably to her detriment. So it feels like I don't know that there's many people. I think she stinks on the show. Honestly, I don't think she should be anywhere near the show because she doesn't get it.
Yeah, she has no social media presence, so all we can really go off is what's that her appearances and then
All
what
the
says
good
about her
stuff,
on
all the
show,
inside
so.
show stuff, all the stuff to bust her chops, she doesn't want on the show. So to me, it's like she just doesn't get it. She doesn't understand what's going on there. So anyway,
No.
I do like
There
Mut
was a
flattering
time-
us by
Well, I
saying
took-
we're like such
yeah.
experts in this topic.
And which
Well,
I mean, it's
certainly-
true. So
it's certainly more than I am. I feel like there was a time where people they did like her. And
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
the appearance has gotten worse. I
honestly, I think it's when the rumor came out that she was actually asking for $150,000.
Right.
Set up-
75.
What?
That's better.
That's even
Well,
worse.
yeah, that
To
was
set up
tough.
hotel rooms.
That was
45
tough,
minutes
but
away
when
from a
she was
subway.
begging or telling Dave Cullinane to not put something on the show, to not play a recording, or to not do this, to not talk about this, like that you're dead to me at that point. Like it's got to be on the show. It's all on the show. It has to be.
Dave Cullinane. You mean like Turtle Boy's
yeah,
lawyer?
the same
Is that
guy.
who we're talking about?
Yeah,
Oh,
the one and only. The one and
don't
only.
remember him.
Sheldon, I wanted to go back to this just for a second because I know you're a Coleman guy. I know you are. You're a Cole man. I know. I get the sense that Mut is, and I know that Ziggy is. I am not a Cole man, and Justin's taking some flack here for the technical issues. And I know you know this better than anyone, Sheldon. Coleman is a technical guy. He's supposed to be the sound guy on this thing, and the show is not sounding as it should. Do you put any blame with Coleman here, or are you just going to let Justin take all the blame?
Yeah. Okay. Honestly, I do because I'm like, okay, well, Coleman has the
Supposed to.
technical ability. I'm like, so they got rid of Gus. Who? Shut up. So Gus is gone. I'm like, okay, well, the sound will be fine, but we won't have all these like stupid fuck ups. And then all of a sudden, the sound is terrible, and Gus is at home being high as a kite, being too good to be a mailman, which drives me fucking crazy. But whatever. So who is in actual charge of the technical ability? I thought it was Coleman, but apparently Gus did some of that. So now my mind is in a pretzel.
I mean,
I don't like this.
Dave and Steve have the radio background, so when you're in radio producing, like you have to deal with a lot more. You're kind of thrown into it. You have more institutional knowledge, I guess. Coleman was at Barstool where everything's just kind of set up for them, and it was probably just like click, record.
How the hell would
that's
you
it.
know that?
I just know stuff, Sheldon. So yeah, room for improvement, I guess, is my way of spinning it. I don't want to be a nipples, but it's a little distracting when it just doesn't sound like the level, like one person's mic is louder than the other. It's
so basically you're being the
Yeah,
nipples
maybe.
of the YouTube right
But
now.
you do
Okay,
make a good
remember
point. I don't know how much you consume the content at Barstool, Mut, but from what I've found with Barstool Radio and others, Barstool their content sounds awful all the time. All the time. Like every time Dave Portnoy on the radio, it was awful.
Well, it's just not. Some of it, I just some of it's not like the best equipment. Like you can hear it on like part of my take. They all have the Shure microphones and it's all wired in and hardwired. It sounds like a normal show. I'm with you. Some of the stuff does not sound like quote unquote FM radio. And by the way, Gus has. I'm just thinking of it now. Doesn't Gus have an FM
That's
radio
true.
background?
Yeah, he does. A little
so
bit,
he
yeah.
probably built them out there too. I consume plenty. I haven't. I think in the last couple of years, I've just become, like we all have, used to it's not sounding like FM radio. And the only thing that sounds the echo the other day was a little weird. And Justin's mic, they got to figure out that part of it. And I think Coleman will. I think Coleman had the safety net of Gus, and eventually he'll break free. If what happened on YouTube and Rumble the last couple of days happened to the live show,
We got trouble.
then we will see Kirk go off on Justin. It'll definitely happen in Portland. So Julie, Justin, Coleman.
I can't remember. Are you slated to be at the Portland show? I know Ziggy and I are going to be there. Of course, we'll make an appearance.
I will be there Saturday. As a fan, I plan on being there. My brother's a huge fan. I think he's going to go with me. So
right.
I will be there Saturday in the beautiful city of Portland. But there's no homeless.
Well,
There's
can
no
I get
homeless
an
downtown
autograph
at all.
picture
I've
for
never seen
Sheldon? Maybe, and he won't be able to be there. So
Yeah, I won't
don't-
be there.
You don't want that.
I
Why aren't you going? Why
I
aren't you
actually
going?
have a flight booked for Portland, Oregon.
did
So-
Julie get you that? Okay, that's too bad. No, okay.
Okay, we're not going to talk about this, but whatever.
Ziggy, I don't know if there's anything you had for Mut here, or if you wanted to maybe ask him a question, or
I mean, you're the host, Red. I think you had something you wanted to bring up, but
He wasn't the host
I
of
need to-
last
I need
week,
to
and you
walk-
interjected
Well, okay, well,
yourself. Fine, but
yeah,
whatever.
I just
You
wanted.
see.
The first thing I want to know is how good do we think Justin's impression of Montante today? That's the whole thing I wanted to talk about. How good is that impression? And that is spot on. That is right there. Kirk's impression of Blind Mike, and then right behind it is Justin's impression of Montante. That's all I want to talk about. That was phenomenal.
Yeah, I wouldn't fuck her, but I'd still pork her.
It's not just the sound of it. It's like right on the cusp of something that's like, oh, he wouldn't say, yeah, Montante.
Yeah.
That's why it's so good. That's so good.
Montante, I don't get it. This is offensive. Why is it offensive? I was last in my class.
No, but I do love that. So
I
do have a I'm not a big fan of the Mary F kill. I'm not a big fan of that, but I do have something. I hope this applies to the horse racing business, Mutt. So,
oh boy,
let me make sure I get the terms right. Okay, so
this was not on the run. It's on the rundown that Patrick.
Well, so we're gonna rank the third chairs. Okay, we're not gonna count Mick in it because he wasn't there today. So we're gonna count Montante.
Hold on, whoa, wait.
Well,
he's a third chair. Well,
after today, I don't think so.
After today, I'm not. Sure. I'm not.
So we've got Steve from Gloucester, we've got Montante, and we've got the Drip Lord. Okay, and our Mary F kill, we're gonna go.
Yep.
I hope this is right. For Mary, we're gonna go coupled entry. Is that right? Am I getting that term right? Coupled entry.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, all right. And then F,
first.
Yes, it might not.
Not gonna get better than that.
And then F, we're gonna go stud. We're gonna go stud. Can we go stud there? Does that apply or
breed maybe?
I gotta write now. I'm not gonna keep track of this thing. You're gonna
well,
hold on.
listen, we're gonna keep it going.
Disaster.
Okay.
Hold on.
Coupled.
So Mary
or
is
coupled entry. I thought it was coupled entry. Pardon.
Yeah. Coupled entry. Yep. Two of the horse. Yeah.
And then F is stud. All right, we're gonna stud them, and then kill is wastage.
Yep.
Is wastage a good term for this for horse racing? I found it. I thought that was a good one. Wastage.
I'll ask you, Red. What is that?
Yeah,
oh,
so it's a
for
term
horses
used for
pass?
horses that exit the industry. Wastage includes. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but that. Yeah, I'm going. Well, listen, I had it. It was in depth as much as my hip hop research. So those are the three terms. Okay, so that's what we got there.
We'll get
and of course we got Steve from Gloucester.
And who are the three?
How does Montante say it? Gloucester?
Steve.
Gloucester. Okay.
Gloucester.
Yeah. And then so we got Montante. Yep. We got SFG, and then we've got the Drip Lord himself. Yeah, this is tough.
Oh man.
Good luck.
How do I want to work back? Let's see here.
To quote Kirk, we are doing a show here, Mutt.
But if it was just Mary, I'd kill me easier. Now I got to get these turns here, these awesome red turns for racing. We're gonna waste. Can I start? Do I have to go in order? Is it how in order I go? All right. Steve is wasted. I will start right there. I think that I like Steve. I like doing the shows with him. As a listener when I'm not there, what I hear with Steve a lot of times on the show is either minutes later or seconds later, repeating back exactly what Kirk just said and agreeing with him, and that it drives me crazy. And I like Steve. I think he's doing because he likes Steve. He likes Kirk, or not loves Kirk and he loves Kirk and what he does. But there are times where he's agreeing with him over the top and almost repeating back what Kirk says. I don't notice as much when I'm there, but as a listener, I notice it. You guys are laughing? Am I making something up? Or do
you said that yesterday.
I just did the show?
Yes, you yelled at him yesterday. You're just going to repeat exactly what Kirk said. He's like, no, I'm not. You were losing.
To be fair, Montante does that too.
Shut up. Don't talk about Montante like that.
Okay. All right, so Steve's wasted. I got it's easy from there. I'm going to.
Okay.
I'm coupling the Drip Lord,
mm-hmm.
Yep.
which is Mary in this case. I mean, probably 3 months ago, I didn't know who Patrick Ford was, and then he had that. I thought was a very funny, the Twitter chart that he had with all the stats. I went through and did all the stats. Then went on the show, and like he's just a sarcastic asshole. Is what I hear him like. I'm sure he's like that in real life. He's the guy busting his buddy's balls in real life. So I will couple him. I guess I'm going to stud Montante like every other woman in New Jersey. I will stud Mike Montante as I bang the desk. So I'm coupling with Drip Lord. I'm out to stud with Montante.
Wow.
And Steve is wastage.
How much of the Steve hate is just from him making fun of your boots yesterday?
Listen, it's not my fault. Some people don't have style. I have slippers on right now because I'm an old man getting ready for bed. But I should have worn the boots down here. I did not factor in sitting down in those stupid fucking chairs that the pants would come up. And so the pants coming up. Steve had a good line about jumping in puddles.
Yeah.
Jumping in
Are you
puddles.
going to jump in puddles after this one?
It was a good line by Steve. But I like those boots.
So
it's the second or third time I've worn them where Kirk has had a problem with them. Like he has awesome Milton shoes on tonight at Rough and Rowdy. Like those are nice bath boots, nice winter boots.
So I don't have an issue with Steve repeating because the way he repeats is just funny. Like Kirk was like, I think I got to kill Jeff. And he's like, why you got to whack him though, Kirk? So it's everything he says makes me laugh. So it really doesn't bother me, but I could see it. I could see why it bothers people, but I love Steve.
No, when he's talking about, it's like, oh no, my blood pressure is fine.
Yeah.
Oh, my blood pressure.
I'll always love Steve. I don't care.
I can love him, but also kill him. I had to kill one of these three people. I'm sorry.
Honestly, Kirk was wearing jeans tonight. He should have been wearing his white pants.
That's a great call.
That Whitney was making fun of earlier this. Oh yeah. So he comes in with his jeans looking all hot to trot. He should have had his white pants on like he was in a rubber room.
Jeans are hot to trot in North Dakota.
Speaking of those white pants, Mut, did you see those white pants when on the show when he did that in the Ryan Whitney episode? Do you remember those white pants? Or did you?
They're like hospital pants.
Canvas. The linen.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh,
I like those linen pants.
And like,
because you're a good friend of Kirk's. There's no way you would allow him to. He gives you shit all the time for the stuff you wear. There's no way you would allow him to walk around in those things. You would say something, right?
I have. It's sad but true, Red. I have multiple pairs of linen pants. They are excellent to wear in the summer, up in Maine or at Saratoga. So I have multiple pairs of linen pants. They're not as they're
right.
They fit better than Kirk's did. Like I would say, go to Milton's and get those refitted with Bill and the crew. But I like linen. I am for linen pants. I'm team linen pants.
I think it was the way my brain works. I think it was your very first minute of you being in when you came on KMS was talking about your kids' disdain for jeans and love of sweatpants. Is that right? Or maybe it was vice versa. Yeah.
No, that's what it was.
It was an embarrassing thing to say out loud.
It was like right out of the chute.
Now, being somebody who's at home a lot, I wear a lot of sweatpants around the house. But my point was, and I'm older than you guys, and you guys probably didn't go. Maybe you did, but when I was younger, like my mom made me dress up for school. Like you had to wear like nice pants, like 4 of the 5 days of the week. Like Fridays were, you get to wear sweatpants today. Remember like how great it was on Fridays going to school in Pepperell, Massachusetts to wear sweatpants. Now my kids wear Under Armour pants every day, and I admit, yes, I'm jealous. Makes me a weirdo. That's fine.
There's nothing wrong with athleisure, I think is what we call it here. It's fantastic. So I'm with you on that.
And
the best.
To be clear, red is pretty
right now. Like you guys are pathetic.
So I brought up Mut's kids. I have to address Harry Minahan's attacks on my character. Unlike Carrie, I come with facts, but I know you are familiar with Dude Perfect. They've done over 200 videos. No tangible proof of any kind of faking these trick shots. So I call him a sheep. He called me a gaslighter, I believe. I'm not gonna continue with the name calling. I just want to say the burden of proof falls solely on Harry Minahan on this one. And I know you're on Harry's side, so I don't know if you can speak on his behalf, but Dude Perfect does not fake anything.
Just like all these videos that my kids watch, these YouTube videos where some guy does a great thing in Madden or Fortnite, and I try to explain this is all edited. This show, because of me, will be terrible. No one's gonna think we edited out the good stuff or bad stuff. These videos, Dude Perfect, all these guys, it's fake. Ziggs, I'm sorry, not real. The trick shot quarterbacks, trick shot kickers, they do a million times. They get that one They put a nice headline on it with a nice title, Scott, on YouTube, and all these kids watch it. YouTube Shorts especially. So I'm with Harry Minahan. I stand with Harry. Ziggy's wrong.
Yeah, it's actually kind of sad that Ziggy's like 49 and he's trying to body like a kid that's under 10, and then he's like bragging about it. That's actually kind of sad, to be honest with you.
What is this?
Yeah, you probably can't even see it.
Good night.
Good night. Good night.
Dude,
Construction
perfect.
site.
Good night, too.
God, it's almost like you should get better internet to have an internet show, but whatever.
A couple things. We'll get you going soon. I did have to say, Justin, I think 3 different times threw a little bit of shade your way this week. I don't know if you caught this. So the first one, one of his topics was that Will Fleming is looking at another job, which I believe it was January 5th edition of the Mut Stack. You broke that news that Will was on the out. So I don't know why Justin kind of made it seem like that was news. He also scoffed at the idea of you doing Red Sox play-by-play. And then today he said like, oh, why isn't Mut Stack up yet? So I don't know if he has real beef, but.
Well, Justin has been featured in Mut Stack, I think, 2 of the last 3 weeks.
Let's go.
Something he's tweeted out, his Belichick tweets, something crazy. So I wish Justin would pay more attention to it. I thought today was a nice moment because I think he was excited for Mut Stack to come out.
Yeah.
I think it was Coleman who said it's Thursday.
Yeah,
right.
We all wish every day were Mut Stack.
He's like, "Where's Mut Stack?" And Coleman's like, "It's Thursday." Oh,
listen, that's okay with me. No, I'm a little afraid of Justin, so I'm not going to push back. I said on the show yesterday, he's an intimidating figure. His size is intimidating, and his defense of the show in general is sort of intimidating. Like he sort of looks down on anyone who's not been there since day one. And I missed a large portion of this. So I do feel like I'm a little intimidated. So I'll give him a couple shots at he did promote it. If he's saying it on the air, Ziggs, he's promoting Mut Stack. So I can be okay with that. The Red Sox thing, I think he and I might have joked about it off the air. Like I think he knows if I ever go to the Red Sox, I'm never coming back on Kirk's show. I think every report tonight says, as we're talking about this, might be breaking news. Well, it's not official yet, but it sounds like Will Fleming is back.
Rumor boy, be a rumor boy.
Yeah, you don't.
Mut.
Not official.
It doesn't have to be real news here.
Rumor boy,
you can just go for it, man. Just let it fly. Let it go.
Run with it.
All right.
Maybe.
So, I mean, the rumor was that you heard that the Falcons were going to hire Raheem Morris on Tuesday, and you didn't say that. Why wouldn't you break that already? You would have been right, Mut.
I know. I held on to that one. I only had one source, Sheldon. I needed 2 on that. I mean, I would have been confused too that the Falcons hired a really shitty coach that was with the Buccaneers how many years ago, but I still would have went with it. That's how you do this, Mut. No one cares anymore. Maybe Friday I will.
I don't want to tell Picasso how to paint, but I hope in the Mut Stack there's at least a note about how conservative owners didn't hire Belichick. Could you get that in there, please, for Tim? Okay.
There's been some Easter eggs in there for Minifans over the last year or so. That might be one. But Tim Riggles has said a lot of dumb things.
Loved him.
And I liked him. I what was it? When did I have not consumed hours and hours of the KMS network. Was it the live stream that the guys did before the merch sale went on? And Tim was one night where Tim was on there just absolutely high or drunk or both. But I could not stop laughing. And
when he was calling
him now, I liked him, but that was a really dumb thing for Tim.
When he was calling Mick a ghoul, and he's like, I wasn't high. He's like, I was looking at Mick, and he was just making me laugh. And it's like, yeah, Mick makes me laugh too, but not like that.
It's a good bet.
Like,
it's a good bet if you saw Tim somewhere
doing?
on a YouTube show, he was probably drunk or high. That's a pretty good bet.
Well, we did the first show with Gus when the ass and assistant line, and there's I think a great video of Tim and I like looking at each other like, what the fuck did he just say?
Speaking of strange Minifans, I gotta know. So in the heyday of you on KNC, how many DMs did you
Yeah.
get from TJ Hubbard? Because he was always doing the gifts with you and everything else. It feels like he would have been in your DMs pretty earlier. Tim and Canton, I know. It felt like sometimes the hate from Tim and Canton too was real back in the day. Like I know he loves you now, but like, what was some of the weirdest DMs or the weirdest DM you got from some people back in the day?
I'm scrolling back through looking right now because a lot of that time is Tim's calls were weird sometimes. I couldn't remember. I couldn't tell if he was calling in to like talk sports or to get some line in. And there were some callers that I got better with the callers. There were times that were definitely they said things that I just knew I was like my producer would get in trouble for, and I got nervous. But I can't think of it. Like Tim calling in stands out. I'm scrolling back here. See who I have.
I assume TJ just sent you so many gifs of monkeys, you know, for instance. Like it was all over the place, I'm sure.
I have one from oh here we go. I have one. Is this person still in the universe Blobe Spot?
Oh, jeez.
Oh my god!
I don't think so.
Oh my god!
Yes. What is
February 5th, 2021.
Stay away from the
Hey
will.
Mut, hope everything is good. I was wondering if there was ever a way for you to unblock Robinson Ziggy.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Back up!
My answer was no.
Cut this.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Okay.
let's just get to it. We got a couple minutes left. Let's just get to it. I'm not gonna beg. I'm not gonna grovel. You're your own man.
I was gonna keep. I can keep going back through old DMs. I'm sure you can find some other ones.
Well, while you do, I just want to look you in the eye, Mut, and say, I'm sorry for tweeting a picture where there was some resemblance between Shia LaBeouf and a mugshot and someone else's mugshot. I apologize for that. I did not follow you at the time. I know you had
I forget whose mugshot.
Shia LaBeouf and someone that looked like Shia
And who?
LaBeouf and someone else.
And who
Okay, it
else?
was you.
Well,
I did not follow you at the time, and you had
Who
a good, very good policy. If you make jokes at your behalf and you don't follow you get the block. I understand that. I followed you for a long time on my personal account. I created this account, only followed KMS people. You weren't in the Miniverse, so I wasn't following you on that account. I made a bad joke. I apologize. I regret it to this day. I never have gone after you since. I might have gone after you a couple times, but that was just out of jealousy, and kind of hatred of myself. I just want to say I'm sorry, and whatever happens after that is in God's hands.
I would like to point out that I never once listened to EEI because I live in fucking North Dakota, and I never listened to Mut and Callahan, and I knew that rule, and I followed Mut, and I've sent bad pictures of him with somebody else before and never got blocked. You know why? Because I followed him. So that's actually really sad.
I regret it to this day.
You regret it. I
regret it to this day. Yeah.
But guess what, dummy? I still never did it. I live in North Dakota.
Congratulations. I could have gone off the
internet sucks, by the way.
I could have gone off the deep
really
end and been a
does.
full-time Mut hater, but it was been the exact opposite. I love you regardless.
Well, you shouldn't.
I don't care if you're blocking or not. I love you regardless, and I appreciate you joining us.
I want to get Red's take on this, because if there's one person who has fought desperately for me not to unblock you, is Red. Hold on, I haven't done this in forever. February 5th, 2021. Let's see who. Tim and Canton and someone name.
Please.
Hotel Coral Essex.
Steve
Oh
from
my
Providence.
god!
Yeah.
No,
Steve from Providence.
Steve from
Yeah.
Providence.
What does it say?
They're asking me to go on some podcast. They also asked me to go play trivia with them.
That's sad. That is
Montante, it's not very funny. I just want to say like some old school. So Blow Spot's an old school one that's gonna not remember. Anyone else here? This is holy shit.
I can't imagine. Your DMs must be wild.
That's a nice one from Sporty R. McKenzie. I'll keep that one.
How many from Mama K? About your
Zero.
Wow. That's
Zero.
Definitely don't unblock him now.
He brought it up on the show.
I don't know who that is. Well, there's a couple. I'll keep those private. Red, let me ask you. I'm dragging the show down. Let me ask you, Red.
Yep.
You have sent me DMs publicly, privately. You don't want Ziggy unblocked.
Yep.
You're a man from Maine. I'm going to defer to you on this. You know the ordeals. You know what's going on here. Should Ziggy be unblocked? I'm going to let your opinion sway me.
I got a lot of power in my hands here. I've always thought that you should keep him blocked. He's a menace. If you unblock him, his head will get bigger and bigger. He'll need a bigger dog mask. I was feeling that way up until that heartfelt apology from a guy in a dog mask, which appeared to be on America Online, the way that this whole buffering thing is going on. So because of that, and from my dial-up days, I would be okay with you unblocking him at this point. I'm gonna be okay with it. I'm gonna be okay with it. I'm gonna be okay with it. If that felt authentic what he was doing there, so I'm gonna be okay with it.
Well, definitely felt authentic, but he's been authentic before, and you've constantly been like, "Please."
No,
don't.
that's just Red being a shit stir.
But he honestly, Red.
You trying to be a shit stir? Oh, Red's being a shit stir. Are you fucking kidding me, Ziggy?
It's payback.
This is bullshit.
Let the man finish. Mut, keep going. Keep going.
Well, Red has been. Sheldon's camera is shaking now with the gun in the background.
Oh, is there?
You've been if you think he's been, I think he's been very supportive.
This is true.
He's been supportive of Mut Stack. He's helped promote Mut Stack. I think he feels remorse over comparing my unfortunate incident to that of Shiloh LaBoot, or could have been mine.
Who's to say?
Maybe
I don't really remember.
It wasn't me. Was there any children stuff in there? Was there any knocking of my kids? Or was that just the one?
If there was, it was not a Adam raised to Cain or whatever. Cain is able type of attack. No, not that I can recall. If I did, I apologize. I don't think so. I will give you this as an olive branch, Mut. I have a very juicy, legitimate Boston sports media scoop. I've given it to Bradfo. I've given it to Carabas. They're too afraid to run with it. I will give that to you. I'll hand that over to you on a plate. Not on air because it's definitely a scoop, but I will give that to you.
Wow.
Well, I can't get it now?
I'll send it to you right after the show.
So you've interacted with Bradford about this? He turned it down?
Oh, no. This is not good.
I hate this so much.
I think this hurts.
I don't know if that helps or hurts, though, actually.
I don't know. The Bradfo show shirt, I think, hurts big time. I don't know if that's good. Yes.
Wait, is he have a Bradford show shirt on?
Yeah, obviously you can't see it, but yes, they do.
Okay, right now I see a frozen dog in a flannel shirt. I see nothing right now. He's got Commodore 64 internet. Upgrade your internet. You're gonna host a show. Upgrade your internet. It's ridiculous. Wait, hold on. You come on here and you bitch about
Get him, Mut.
And you bitch about hosting. Your internet sucks. You can't be the guy hosting it if your internet sucks. You don't even plug it in. You have Wi-Fi.
No,
Walk that dog. You look at it.
Plug it in.
Ask them before. I was very concerned.
I can't unblock you. I cannot unblock you.
Yes.
I can't.
Wow.
I said it's in God's hands. I respect the decision. Wow. I respect the bit. But you're not getting that scoop. It's juicy.
What if I unblock you? What if I unblock you for the scoop, and if the scoop stinks, I get to block you?
Oh, the scoop does not stink. That's fair. I'll take that deal.
That's a fair deal. Okay. All right, gentlemen. I think we've done it all here. I don't want to take.
All right, you can check whenever you get a chance, Ziggy.
Wow.
I think you're available to follow me again on Twitter.
Well, thank you for that opportunity, Mut. Just to be clear, am I on like thin ice regardless of the scoopage? Because if I were to hypothetically tweet out that, just wait. Just wait. Hypothetically, if I were to tweet out that, fine, I'll tell you in the private. Your link tree. If you go to your link tree and you click on the Twitter, it takes you to your old Twitter account, not your current one. So that's a gift. That's another gift. That's a gift for you. These are the type of things that you get when you allow me to follow you.
God, I hate this so much.
I don't know.
I think I haven't had link tree up.
It goes to Mut EEI, I believe.
Mut, me and Red will send you his real account, so you can maybe reach out to him, but don't unblock him until we do that, please.
Okay, well, listen, I'm
Okay.
a man of my word. For now, he's unblocked.
I
I'm going to want
appreciate
this
it. I
Boston
appreciate it,
sports
Mut.
media scoop. I can, like Patrick Ford, I can be a whore. I can whore myself out
Okay.
for scoops.
I appreciate
But
it.
I gotta say, like, shouldn't I this is not a knock on you, Zig. Like, it feels like isn't Red really the host of this?
No.
Like, I've done an hour here. I feel like he sort of directed this entire thing. Am I wrong?
He's the
it's
host.
definitely
He's the host.
Red's
I'm the
fault.
star. Is what
I know.
Why
people
he has
say.
much better
know.
internet? Can you let him
Yeah.
host it
Fine.
next time?
There it is. What are you gonna do? Listen, he's got way
Sheldon's
better
in
internet.
North
Yeah.
Dakota's got better internet.
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
I play the
Yeah.
hands I'm
Well,
dealt. Like you
listen,
said.
we've done it all here today, and I know please.
All right, can I ask one more?
Please.
Like, I want to get out with
Please.
a little more. I want to end on Venom. Who is the worst Minifan
This is
right now?
good. Let's go around the room.
Ooh.
That Kirk said it today. I think Kyle took a guy.
But we can't go off of that
loud.
one. You
He's
got to
just
give us
terrible.
somebody else. Let's go.
That's fair.
No.
That's fair. But that would've been
Everybody
mine
here has
regardless
got to
of-
give us
okay,
one. Okay, let's go.
I won't say
You know,
Scott
he's been killing-
Quincy. I won't say Scott Quincy because he's a.
Oh, how dare you! Oh, well,
I
that's
said I won't
All
say
right,
it.
where you
I
gonna
won't
go?
say
Come
it.
on.
He's been you know what's annoying me recently is Bio Dude. He's been
You know
very
who,
weird on Twitter.
you
Very
know
weird on Twitter.
who's the worst is
Oh.
Andy Mayo, because he comes in the studio and then he gets on his knees and then he goes and then he goes back on Twitter and then he bitches about the show like a fucking bitch. He fucking left for like over a year because, you know, he was like, oh my god, the fucking raffle law, and then he ran away and then he came back. Fuck Andy Mayo.
I had a feeling
Fuck
that was
you,
coming.
Dick.
Ziggy, who?
God, I fucking hate him, but I like him all at the same time.
Ziggy,
It's really
who's your
fucked up.
who's your worst right now? What do you got?
Idiot.
I would have said Dan and Newton, but Pat Ford swayed me on him because he's a personal friend. His calls bother me, but I would have said him. So I can be magnanimous as well.
Okay. All right. Yeah, of course you do.
I love everyone.
Okay.
Love
Well,
everyone.
yeah.
End
We'll,
the show, please end it.
blocked again.
Blocked again.
I will
Blocked-
say it's the volume of tweets. Like Bio Dude, obviously, he shoots an incredible volume of tweets. They're all awful. And he's a terrifying human being. I know he has many, many children in his basement. Who else? Box Eating Dad. He tweets at a very high rate, and it's all like edgelord, trivia stuff, blah blah blah. Awful.
Oh yeah, that's how we didn't get to that, but Patrick Ford's been taking a beating. I mean, my God, my guy Drip Lord is getting back. He's hated all of a sudden. People don't like him.
We don't hate Trump Lord here.
Yeah, people hate him because Kirk loved him, and now Kirk's down on him, so people are kind of coming back. But yeah, we are friends with Pat Ford, and this would not have happened without Pat. So,
And
Yeah,
honestly,
thank him for this
I
disaster
suck.
ball.
Kirk has said it multiple
we get it,
times.
Sheldon.
I stink. Shut up. You're blocked by Mud.
Listen, okay, all right. I think we've done it all here. Mutt, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate this.
Thank you guys.
Fix
Wasted
the
your
internet,
hour.
Ziggy.
Yeah, fix the internet,
And I
Ziggy.
know,
God.
I'm sure you guys have had this stuck in your head all week. I know I have. So I appreciate that we are friends now. Friends. So thank you guys.
friends.
Friends. Fuck you, Manners.